Hi. Hey. Look, yeah, it's been a while. Been over a year. I've been doing things, important things. Alright, look. I'm gonna be honest,
Super Monkey Ball! I love Super Monkey Ball, if you can't tell. It's a tale as old as time. You start off with a good arcade game, you make two really good GameCube games, and then fun stuff happens. Same monkey, new balls. Look, the last original Super Monkey Ball game to be released was Super Monkey Ball Bounce? What? I didn't realize the situation was that dire. It's August of 2003. Super Monkey Ball 2 just released, and then where to now? There were rumors of a third classic Super Monkey Ball game being released called Super Monkey Ball Banana Crazy, but as far as I'm aware, that's only really just a rumor, and the only evidence we really have is this trademark and this logo, which honestly it looks pretty cool. But even if it was going to be the third in a trilogy, the series developer, Amusement Vision, they died. Well, not really. Amusement Vision was just reworked into new versions of the company, but whatever happened, Super Monkey Ball Banana Crazy was cancelled. Then to make things worse, the series creator, Toshihiro Nogoshi, left the series. He went off to go make the Yakuza games. And I get it, but I needs you, man. And what happens when the one man keeping everything together leaves? In comes the fodder. Yeah, Super Monkey Ball got pretty rough after that. There's some okay stuff in here. I mean, Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits is a fine game. It's nothing great, but it's fine. Banana Blitz is, well, it's not Monkey Ball, but it's not a bad game. It's still kind of fun. Super Monkey Ball 3D and Step and Roll make me very, very sad. There were a few mobile games like Tilt and Roll or Sakura Edition, which honestly, for a mobile game, Super Monkey Ball Sakura Edition isn't half bad. Now, for a real Monkey Ball game, it's horrible, but, you know. Hell, even the classic era wasn't immune to everything. Super Monkey Ball Mini. It was a browser flash game from Sega's website.
Ready? Go! Ready?
This was official?
Monkey, start, monkey.
These flash games are kinda weird. Hi, you okay, buddy? There was Ticket Blitz, which was a crappy Monkey Ball game for the arcades, and then the aforementioned Super Monkey Ball Bounce. On their own, these things aren't too offensive, but when you look at where we came from, this is so depressing. But in 2019, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD released, and, it's Banana Blitz. It's fine. I don't think that's a bad game by any means, just not, well, it's not Super Monkey Ball by any means either. Well, it's Banana Blitz without motion controls, so it's just easier Banana Blitz. Even though Banana Blitz HD was essentially just a remaster with less content, it acted as a rebirth of the series, strangely enough. The game itself was just Banana Blitz, but everything around the game was the start of a new beginning. A new logo, a new presentation style, and this weird black and yellow aesthetic. I kind of love it. Keeping with the new style, a remake of the first two games and then some was released called Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Okay, so here's the thing about Banana Mania, alright. The physics. Since this game is supposed to be a remake of the first two games, and its physics are different to the original two games, a lot of people just kind of wrote this one off, which is a damn shame, because it is a good game. But at the very least, I understand the argument and can respect it. I think if you look at this game as purely remakes, then yeah, it kind of fails in that regard. But if you actually look at this game for what it is, I think it controls fairly well. It's not exactly what you'd expect from a remake, and I think that actually is a fair point against it. So, let's use our thinking caps. First, you release a remaster and rebrand the series. Then, you release remakes of the first two games. The next logical step is... On February 21st, 2024, on a Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble was announced. And then it was released 126 days later. That's it.
Okay. Sure.
The game was announced, and then it came out the day it was supposed to, so...
Where are the banana fritters?
You hear that? That's the sound of 6 monkeys serenading you at once. The banana fritters! I love these guys.
Banana!
I need that shirt. They were a Japanese pop group from the 90s that made songs about, bananas. Why not? They were commissioned by Sega, so they did a song called Banana in Love for Banana Blitz HD's title screen. And then, for Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, not only did they make a song called Hello Banana, the best song ever made, but they also voiced the monkeys. Alright, let's play the game. Like any good Saturday in the Netherlands, we start off on Juicy Island with Ai and friends. They're here for a festival to celebrate the legendary banana. And legend has it, if you gather all 7 OO parts, you get the legendary, but it's video game stuff. Real quick, these character designs are amazing, by the way. Okay, listen. The early 2000s ones are, they're classic, they're iconic, and then the second art style is not my favorite thing ever, but these character designs look amazing. They're adorable. I no longer flinch every time I see Baby. Anyways. You son of a— Her name is Palette, and she takes Ai's banana. Palette asks us to help her find all the OO parts to help find her dad because she thinks her dad is treasure hunting. Basic chimpanzee stuff. Speaking of which, this tutorial gave me chills. I don't even know why, it was just nice to have a Monkey Ball game that sounded good and felt good. Do you like rats? Yeah, me too. The Spin Dash, a little feature they added where you can charge up your momentum and shoot yourself in a certain direction. Sonic was added as DLC later, so, yeah. Super Monkey Ball! Okay, listen, I think this actually works out really well for this game. Cool, moving on. The monkeys agree to help Palette find her dad, so they go on the quest for the OO parts and blah blah blah. Level 1.
Ready? Go!
It's so beautiful. I'm home. Now we get to the portion of the video where I don't know how to describe how this game works because it's pretty simple. It's you roll around the ball, sometimes you shoot it forward with the spin dash, you make it to the end of the level. It's great. Okay, listen, I like this.
Ball out!
Okay, let me just go off about this for a second. Remember when I talked about the physics for Monkey Ball Banana Mania? People have that same sentiment about this game, and it kind of pisses me off. Listen, I love the original games as much as the next person. They have a special place in my heart, and I think they're really good games. Okay. That being said, I didn't have any problems with this game in terms of physics. It feels good to play, it's responsive as hell. I didn't have any problems with awkward controls. I didn't have any weird glitches. Yes, it's not the exact same as the original games. That I don't think that is the requirement here. Alright, I've been rambling. I'm gonna leave it here. I think that this game feels really good to play. So I'm just gonna say it. I had a lot of fun, and I think this game feels and controls really well, and just make of that what you will, I guess.
Also, the music in this game. It doesn't have a very big soundtrack by any means, but the soundtrack that is here is, it's definitely Monkey Ball music. It's really good, and it kind of reminds me of the original soundtrack from Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Ah, now come on. Come on, boy. Come on, buddy. Let's do this.
What? Never seen a man try to off himself with laxatives?
And with that, we found our first ooh part. That really is just out of place artifact, isn't it? They didn't try to make a pun. They didn't make their own acronym. It's just straight up an out of place artifact. It's an ooh part. Okay.
What? Oh, this stuff? Yeah, I'm fat now. Did you not get the memo? I'm working on it.
By the way, they brought back my favorite part of Banana Mania. The camera control. It is a godsend in both that game and this game. Another thing I see is that some people just decide they're not going to use the camera controls, and I don't know if it's out of spite. I don't know if they do it because, well, the original games didn't have it, so this one shouldn't have it either. But I'm gonna say that I think the fact that the original games didn't have any form of camera control, I think that's a flaw against them. I think the camera in that game it's fine, but it's not ideal in the slightest. In fact, there are a lot of levels in the original games where I have to do like some stupid U-turn or weird camera finagling to make sure I can see where I'm going. And I feel like I shouldn't have to do that. And yeah, I guess if you're like a speedrunner or something, you don't even have to worry about the camera because you don't need to see where you're going. But, I mean, come on. Let's be realistic here. These games really benefit from being able to move the damn camera. As they're walking away with the first artifact, we get the introduction of our main antagonist. And like every great villain from any piece of media that ever existed, it starts off with an extended shot of his feet.
Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Okay.
Before starting the next world, we also meet the secondary antagonists, the Gala family. Cat Fess, Lion Val, and Sheep Lamb T.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow.
These guys are losers, man.
Listen, all I'm saying is that they have T on their side, and he's supposedly a genius, but... I mean, look at this trap. I mean, come on. It looks like it's from a video game, which is hilarious because it's not actually in the level, so it's literally just made for this cutscene. They say they're treasure hunters. I should also probably mention that when I got footage for this game, there was an event going on that meant that every banana had the Dole logo on it, which, while on one hand it is definitely product placement, on the other hand it's also just kind of a cool callback to the original games. As of right now, the event has been over for quite a while, and I know what you're thinking.
What's the point if there's no Dole logos on the bananas?
And you'd be right, there's really no reason to play this game without the Dole bananas, but, you know, just in case you're a freak who doesn't live based off of what Dole does, then... Oh yeah, there's a game here. Anyways, we move on to World 3. So we head off to a floating city place, and they really want you to know it's a floating city because that's the name of the world, and they mention it. Problem is, I really don't think it is a floating city. I think it's actually more like just a monkey ball version of Venice. Anyways, Pallet's feeling down, and we get a nice little moment of Yan Yan and Ai comforting her. It might be time to mention that all the cutscenes in this game are very unapologetically anime-y. And I'm not huge on anime, but you know what? It works with monkey balls, I guess. It's at least a lot more charming than the grand return of switches from Super Monkey Ball 2. Anyone who thinks Super Monkey Ball 2 is flawless, switch Inferno. I was never a big fan of the switches in Super Monkey Ball 2. They are used to stop, reverse, and speed up objects. Usually, you'd spawn in a stage on a fast forward switch, and then you'd have to find a switch to return the obstacles back to normal speed. But 9 times out of 10, the switch you needed was right behind you, or in extremely obvious places. So, it kind of just felt like they were there to waste your time. At best, they were used to add some thought to the stages, but at worst, they, Here, they were actually utilized in fairly decent ways. At the very least, they felt more vital to the level designs rather than something like this. Also, wormholes.
Speed! I am Speed!
Moving on, more anime-esque interactions with Pallet and Ai. Then Greed. Pallet, despite claiming to be an adventurer and treasure hunter, seemingly doesn't know what an adventure is. So that's fun. The next area is an oriental temple with gold everywhere. Pallet scares Gon by stating that anyone who focuses on the beauty of the U parts has their heart consumed by evil. She says her heart isn't consumed by evil because she wants more than just the U parts. So, I guess that negates it being any sort of cautionary tale or anything, because more greed is better, I guess. She tries to steal the money, but apparently stealing valuable artifacts is bad now. But isn't that the whole point of the game? Was to get the U parts? Is that... I don't know, man. World 4. Here's the only part of the game that I wasn't so sure about at first. The boost panels. They shoot you in a specific direction and can help with momentum. Blue ones are standard and the red ones are more powerful. These come from Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz and function extremely similarly to the Banana Blitz HD versions. At first I was nervous about these, but in the game I actually think it adds to the stages and works fairly well. It honestly does feel like they took the Banana Blitz boost paddles and decided to use them in a way that actually complements the classic design style instead of whatever the hell that is. Also, balls. This game has balls. They basically function like any other obstacle, but I felt the utter desperation to point that out. And the music of this place is crazy. So the Gala family shows up briefly and mentions someone named Easel. Moving on, I never knew I needed this image in my life, but now I keep it in the back of my mind at all times.
The back of my wallet, too.
Stone Valley. A bunch of monkey-like Moai statues are here. Seesaws are back as is expected. There's also this one stage where you push a manhole cover into a pit, which is, it's honestly kind of reminiscent of some of the stages from Super Monkey Ball 2. Oh, and of course, any self-respecting human being can't resist the call of looking cool. World number next is a concert and a city. And, okay, what is the world of Super Monkey Ball like? Speaking of the lore, okay, what is Baby still doing here? He shouldn't even be born yet. And the plot to prevent his birth is thwarted, so what is happening? Did Ai and Mimi ever get married? The doctor seems like a criminal.
Doesn't Yan Yan have a crush on Ai? How is she allowed here?
These cowards took the adultery out of my monkey ball game.
Does the group even know that Baby is Ai and Mimi's son? Gon has been third-partying the family of 3 for quite a while now.
It doesn't matter.
What's happening? Oh, disappearing and reappearing platforms. That's kinda cool. Man, this game is fun. It's shit. I mean, I'm being honest here. It's just really enjoyable. I'm having fun. Next, Candy Castle. It's a snowy, sugary place. And we get another look at our mysterious antagonist. In version 2.0, they added a feature where you can instantly restart a stage in single-player adventure mode by pressing L, R, and A at the same time. That's good. I'm glad they did that. That's all I have to say about that.
That makes all 7 artifacts, prompting our mysterious man to reveal himself. It's the Phantom Thief Easel, Palette's father, which she didn't know somehow. She acts as if she's never met her father, which we'll get to later. And shocker, Palette was playing us the whole time. Sorta. I don't know. Easel whisks her away along with the 7 Ooparts, prompting the entrance of my favorite characters. T says that, if you couldn't tell, Easel was cursed by the Ooparts, and to break him free from that curse, we need someone pure in heart. And they all think of Palette, even though Gon just had to pry her away from an ancient treasure. And she lied to them. Why don't we just, like, pick Baby or something, guys? You know? And the cage he trapped him in just... Let's monk some balls. Yeah. So now we have to chase him through the last few worlds, all of which are based on Latin words. Oceanus for ocean, Calum for sky, and Astrum for constellation. Or star. Or heaven. Or night. Or... constellation. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be constellation in this case. The backgrounds for the stages are pretty on brand. Much like the original games, these backgrounds give me a weirdly surreal feeling, and I consider that a good thing. Let's go! We unlock the Gala family as playable characters.
Yay!
After beating Kayla.
Child abuse.
Easel separates the main crew from the Gala family. Oh no. Oh no. Then he goes to space. Palette cries and apologizes, then they all make up and be happy. Like I said before, these cutscenes are very stereotypically anime-y, but I think a lot of the cheesy line delivery is kinda subdued by the fact that there aren't any lines to deliver in the first place. Unless you count Monkey. I do have to say, I wonder what a voice recording session would have been like for these guys. We actually get to see the first level of World 10 in the cutscene. And that is the weirdest thing about this game. You never see the actual stages in the cutscenes for any of these Monkey Ball games, so that's kind of cool. This place is really pretty. And listen to this music! We make it to the end, taking the Ooparts back again, then Palette tells her dad to return to the way she remembers him. Wait, does she remember him or not? And if she admitted to being a phantom thief, that obviously means she should remember her father to some extent, right? Where's Mom? Probably dead. Or Palette's from the future like Baby. How old are these characters?
I don't know, man.
Palette and Easel hug it out, then Palette wants to stay with the main cast and continue with them on their adventures. Trust me, you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. That was Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. Yeah, less than half of it. That's the end of the genuinely well animated cutscenes, but we then unlock the extra stages. These are Monkey Ball levels for the sake of being Super Monkey Ball levels. You do unlock images of the characters just kind of hanging out when you beat the extra worlds, and you also unlock a few other things here and there. But for all intents and purposes, this is meant to be the rest of their gameplay, despite being technically post-credits. There are 100 of them, doubling the number of stages.
And these aren't cheap challenges or slight variations of previous levels either. These are literally 100 completely new stages. Once beating their respective modes, you also unlock marathon modes of both the 100 normal stages and the 100 extra stages respectively. So that's kinda awesome. And that's not even it. A few months after release, there was a free update, and they added 20 ultimate extra stages, which are incredibly difficult versions of previously existing stages. Oh, by the way, this game is hard as balls. Specifically these ones.
All out.
These levels aren't impossible, but sometimes they feel like they are. I beat them all, and it took me 12 hours my first time doing so. And in doing so, I learned that some of them damn near require you to play as Baby. Oh yeah, each character in this game has different statistics, and they all feel a bit different to play as is. II feels pretty similar to the original games, while the others have different speed, brake, weight, and spin dash capabilities. Baby is extremely light, and though it definitely takes a bit of getting used to, you can move much faster with a lot of control. So, his stats easily work the best for the ultimate extra stages. I learned this the hard way by trying to play as Pallet through all the ultimate extra stages. Don't do that.
All out.
For being extremely hard versions of levels, these are actually pretty fun, to be honest. Except the Snake Whip. I hate that one. This level feels like complete luck. I know it's not, but damn, it sure feels like it. Just look! Thankfully, there are no lives or continues, so you can keep trying the levels to your heart's content. Of course, there are also extra modes in this game that you can play. The first of these is a time attack. Pretty self-explanatory, but you basically try to go as fast as possible. At launch, that was the only other game mode, but after version 2.0, which also added the ultimate extra stages, they added 4 more of these extra game modes, so awesome. The next is time attack. Banana bonus. This is the same as the normal time attack, but you can collect bananas in the levels to lower your time. Okay, listen. I've always respected speedrunners, but I've gotta be honest. I've never had any desire to ever play a game like that, nor have I ever really enjoyed watching speedruns. Not to say they aren't genuinely impressive, because they definitely are in many cases. But
That sounds mean, but speedrunning has never really been my thing. Objectively cool, though.
next is the No Miss Challenge, which, once again, is pretty self-explanatory. You get to see how many stages you can get through before dying. If you ever needed proof that I am indeed a huge gamer, it's my monkey ball skills. Monkey ball. The scientists that be have finally found something faster than the speed of light. A toddler jacked up on polio vaccines. Holy crap!
Playing as Baby with motion controls during super speed mode is like trying to do a backflip on a polytetrafluoroethylene covered skating rink in the dark.
The last mode begs the question. What if you were the monkey? Monkey C mode is basically just first person. Some levels are kind of easier like this, but it messes with your depth perception, and obviously it completely disintegrates your field of vision. So, you know, honestly, it's just kind of neat. It's kind of neat. Oh yeah, like I said, this game has optional motion controls you can activate under the accelerometer in the settings. As always, this is a fun thing to try. It is definitely not an ideal way to play this game. This game even has simultaneous multiplayer. You can play the whole game like this. And you have the option of whether or not to accept concussions. Why has it taken so long to do this right in a monkey ball game? The first game had simultaneous multiplayer, but it was only a few levels at a time, and it was less focused on beating levels and more on being a very basic and incredibly short competition mode. Multiplayer otherwise has usually just been taking turns, and most games don't even have that option, so it's very nice to finally have what you would usually want from a multiplayer mode. Oh, and for each and every level, except the ultimate extra levels, there are missions you can accomplish. time challenge, a banana challenge, which both of those are cool and all, but the one I actually really like is the golden banana challenge. Every level has a golden banana, often in an out-of-the-way or harder-to-reach spot. It's cool. It's cool. All of these missions are pretty fun to go for, and are a good challenge. But then, in an update, they added a second, harder level of these challenges. And I gave up ever trying these. They're ridiculous. In fact, getting all of the bananas in a level is sometimes impossible in single-player mode, so whatever. Now on to this game's minigames, the battle mode. This seems to be a fairly controversial part of this game. The main reason for this is that Banana Rumble doesn't have any traditional minigames like the rest of the series does, where the gameplay and the controls of the minigames are completely unrelated to the main game. Instead, the battle mode minigames are all played like the main game, but, well, minigames. It's kind of like a Mario Kart battle mode. Like, it still plays like Mario Kart, but it's a battle mode with different objectives. You get the point. For example, in the previous games, the Monkey Race minigame is completely different from regular Monkey Ball, but here, it plays exactly like a regular main game stage. Personally, I love this. Maybe it's blasphemy, but to be honest, I've never been the hugest fan of the minigames in the Monkey Ball games. They aren't terrible by any means, most of the time, but I don't think I've ever wanted to play one. Because the battle modes in this game actually feel and play like Monkey Balls, I do tend to find myself wanting to play these game modes. These battle minigames are even tied to a surprisingly fleshed out online mode. In the online battle mode, you can also unlock new accessories and other goodies. In fact, playing the online battle mode is the only way to unlock
Cannibal, stalker, terrorist, creep, baboon.
He's in this game, and he sounds kinda like the Doctor. Yeah, you unlock him via the online battle modes. So... There are 7 different battle modes. First up, and the most expected, is Race. Hell yeah. This is what I've always wanted from the race modes in the Super Monkey Ball games. It's actually racing through long Monkey Ball courses. The game controls like the main Monkey Ball mode, and instead of laps, it's one long, consistently shifting Monkey Ball stage. Along with the new items and the spin dash, this one is actually extremely fun. The different obstacles also seem to get easier for the people in the lower places. Since you battled random people today, you get to participate in the Lucky Monkey Lottery. I can confirm that this is not true, I've tried. Next is Banana Hunt, which is pretty self-explanatory. You roll around a map and collect the bananas. As you can see, not only does the racing mode have items, but in fact, every single one of the battle games has items in them, which, at the very least, is worth a thumbs up. Occasionally, fever time. I know that there are other maps in this mode. But I swear the only one I've ever seen online is the Cookie Tower map. By the way, I'm glad the best character in the game is one of the monkeys, because if the best character to play as was Fess, let's just say I'd have won the Lucky Monkey Lottery by now. The next one is Goal Rush. This one is fun. Each of the maps in this mode are different slides with a bunch of numbered goals. When you enter a goal, you get the amount of points allotted to that specific goal, as well as claiming that goal for your team. At the end, each goal claimed is worth an extra 50 points for your team. I like this one a lot. It's like one of my long-held fantasies. Locomoting onwards, ba-boom. Kinda like. It's hot potato for 5 rounds. That's it.
I'm decent at this one, and I've never held a potato, so...
Robot Smash. This one's on the box art. You're split into teams and you kind of just shove your body weight into these robots, and eventually they blow up. Hitting them gains you some points, while being the one to deal a killing blow to one of the robots gives you a lot of points. I know I suck at this one, but I'm not entirely sure if there's actually a good strategy here. Then, added a bit after the launch of the game, was the next mode, Gym Heist. You collect gems and bring them to your goal. You can knock them out of each other's hands. It's alright, I guess. This last one may look similar to Monkey Fight, but no. Super Punchy Brawl.
I don't know.
You face each other and run into them to punch them. The more you get hit, the more liable you are to be punched off the map. That's all the battle modes. I actually really like these. I know that people liked the original minigames, but after playing them all once, I pretty much had no desire to ever play them again. Here, whenever I play Banana Rumble, I usually end up playing a few online battles just for the hell of it, because it's fun. Speaking of online, as I said earlier, you can play the main mode online, but I don't think that's physically possible anymore. I only ever did it once, and it was the week the game came out. But hey, the battle mode online is still shockingly active, so I recommend it.
Okay, I've been pushing this off way too much. The DLC puts Smash Brothers to shame. And itself. It should be ashamed of itself.
You've got the Sonic characters, okay, makes sense. You've got Axel from Crazy Taxi and Beat from Jet Set Radio. But, Alright, I'll just rip the bandage off. Hatsune Miku, Godzilla, a crewmate from Among Us, Pac-Man, and the Redbird from Angry Birds. What the hell?
Guys, when I played the first Super Monkey Ball game, if I'd known that we'd ever stoop this low, I would have never angered a bird.
There's really not much to say here. Spot the difference. I didn't buy these, as funny as their existence may be. I'm pretty happy with the monkeys. You can take the Gala family though. You can have them. There's a shop to buy cosmetics. You can buy shoes, shirts, hats, balls, trails. And technically, when you unlock a character, you don't unlock the character. You're given the right to buy the character. So I don't know what the reasoning was for that, but slavery's pretty cool. What else? Oh yeah, a lot of the loading screens in this game actually show you hidden cheat codes for the game. And there's only a few of them, but they actually are pretty cool. One of them unlocks a random song for the main menu. Cool, it's a good song. I don't know why this was hidden by a cheat code. I guess they didn't know where to put it. You can unlock T's focus mode. Basically, he pushes the wool out of his face. You can also unlock Easel without his mask, which is actually really cool. You can unlock a gym collection mode. I've looked this up numerous times. I have no idea what the hell this means. I can't figure it out. I input the cheat code at the specific screen that it allows me to input the cheat code on, and then I play the levels, and I notice absolutely no difference, and I don't think anybody's talking about this because I don't think anybody cares, but I just want to know what the hell this means. And lastly, we can unlock a lucky day with a cheat code. It's fireworks. You unlock fireworks. Yeah, cool. It adds just a few extra touches to some of the backgrounds. So that's Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. I love it. So much. It's a lot of fun. There's a hell of a lot to do here. The main gameplay feels and plays like a good Super Monkey Ball game. Sure, it's not exactly the same as the first two, but I don't think that's the criteria for a good Monkey Ball game. I would honestly argue in many places this game feels better. It looks amazing. Like I said, the character designs in this game are awesome. This is a huge breath of fresh air after so many years of basically inhaling through a tailpipe. It feels good to play, and nearly all of the stages are actually thought out. The music is awesome, the battle modes are fun, the game gets actually hard, there are so many extras and such. All I could wish for is a dedicated classic challenge mode like the classic games, but aside from that, I don't really have a whole lot of big critiques. They did it. They made an amazing Super Monkey Ball game. And mothers at GameStop don't know which one to buy because they all have these stupid names. Banana Rumble, really? 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 So we've got Banana Blitz, we've got Banana Splits, we've got Banana Blitz HD, we've got Banana Mania, and even the canceled classic Monkey Ball game was going to be called Banana Crazy. This is stupid.